Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So the market not really moving too much today, not really anything to talk about. We're still holding that support level for Bitcoin here. I've got Bitcoin on the daily. Right now it's trading at $29,200. So you can see here a very, very tight level of support that we've just been kind of building up over the last few weeks, and that is congruent with the rest of the crypto market. Like if I bring up XRP here, XRP also sitting in this level of support here right now. XRP is trading at about 41 cents. So, that level is going to look different on different charts. But bringing up Bitcoin, again, this is the king currency. So, all other cryptocurrencies are going to follow Bitcoin. It's holding this level and it's holding it very, very closely. And so again, we're just waiting to see what happens next, going below this former level of support. I know we did wick down earlier in the month. However, we are still maintaining above this critical level of about 28,005. That's not to say it's the end, even if we do go down further. What I could picture is a capitulation throughout the summer, maybe into the early fall, and then coming out of that by the end of quarter three, early quarter four into another rally. I guess we just got to wait and see at this moment in time. There's nothing really happening in the market. However, there is a lot going on with the cryptocurrency industry. First, I'm going to bring this to you guys from the Wrath of Kahneman, Basel Institutes on Governance, Cryptocurrencies in Asia and Beyond. So this was a paper that they just released, their working paper 38, Cryptocurrencies in Asia and Beyond, Law, Regulation, and Enforcement. This just came out this month. A very lengthy document here, almost 70 pages long. So I will link this in the description for those of you guys interested. But I wanted to bring this up. This is interesting how they point specifically to this. Among the countries experimenting with CBDCs is the Kingdom of Bhutan. Its Royal Monetary Authority, or the RMA, announced in September of 2021 that it was collaborating with the US-based company Ripple Labs to create a national digital currency. Bhutan, the Royal Monetary Authority of Bhutan, has been partnered with the US-based blockchain and crypto solutions firm Ripple Labs for a while now, but as we know, it was since September that they were working on the CBDC project. And, this paper here outlining Bhutan and that CBDC project with Ripple as an example of where certain countries are moving with central bank digital currency. So I found that kind of interesting. Considering there are many different projects relating to CBDCs, they are focusing on the Ripple related project specifically. Wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman for that. Another one from the Wrath of Kahneman here, guys, with regards to Ripple partner Novati. Well, their shares have been halted. And they were halted on Friday on the stock market, and they are halted until Monday. And Wrath of Kahneman's wondering, is there an acquisition here happening that is not publicly announced yet? Well, Reckon announced sales of APMG business for $100 million and special dividends to Reckon shareholders on completion of sale. Novati holds 19.9% of Reckon, so there could be some kind of relationship there. Novati and Reckon partnership providing payment solutions to Reckon's 114,000 cloud users is unimpacted by sale and continues to expand. Novati Group, a fintech leader enabling businesses to pay and be paid, is a major shareholder of Reckon. And Reckon announced on May 19th it has sold its Accountant Practicing Management Group, or APMG, to the Access Group for the $100 million. It plans to pay the majority of proceeds by way of partly franked special dividends to shareholders on completion of the sale. So stock was halted. Here's the alert. The securities of Novati, NOV, will be placed on trading halt as the request of NOV pending its releasing an announcement. Unless ASX decides otherwise, the securities will remain in trading halt until the earlier of the commencement of normal trading on Monday, May the 23rd, or when the announcement is released to the market. So it does sound like something is brewing that will affect Novati price, Novati stock price. So they're halting that until Monday. Of course, it is the weekend. The stock market is not open yet. Wrath of Kahneman also bringing up, it could be because of the APMG news as well. So I'm sure we will get a statement if something else does occur with Novati. Wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman again for that. Michael at Val5 Links bringing this to us now. With regards to regulation, the FCA will absolutely consider recent stablecoin depegging when drafting crypto rules. Why am I not surprised about that? So the United Kingdom's Economic and Finance Ministry announced in April that it would work to incorporate stablecoins into a regulatory framework on digital assets. Sarah Pritchard, the Executive Director of Markets at the United Kingdom's Financial Conduct Authority, or FCA, reportedly said that the regulator will look at the recent volatility in the crypto markets when creating rules for the space in 2022. According to a Friday Bloomberg report, Pritchard said the financial regulator will absolutely take into account stablecoins like Terra UST and Tether USDT, depegging from the US dollar in drafting regulatory guidelines with Her Majesty's Treasury for release later this year. So more and more am I now thinking that the Terra Luna UST collapse was indeed orchestrated so that these guys could have a reason, a real reason, why they need to draft regulations specifically with regards to stablecoins. I think because, again, as I said in yesterday's video, because stablecoins like the USDT, like Tether, USDC even, because they threaten US dollar dominance, regulators are now jumping on this. I know this is a UK regulator. However, I think regulators are now being pressured to jump on this. US regulators especially. Here's a quote down here. It really shows at front of mind the really significant issues that exist here, both in terms of well-functioning markets and obviously consumer protection, said Pritchard. In the last week, where we saw significant price movement, it brings that into the fore, and it shows the importance of making sure that people understand that that is a risk of where they put their money. So, warning the public here, saying your money is not safe, even if you do put it in a stable coin. That's why we need rules. I don't necessarily agree 100%. I mean, it's a double-edged sword always with these rules. They say they want to protect investors, but really, there's never not an ulterior motive when dealing with these guys. So, it is what it is. Clearly, they are using this most recent example to as a basis to draft their regulatory clarity. Anyway, there's the news there. Also, this guy's from XRP Crypto Wolf, just kind of along the same lines. European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde says crypto is worth nothing and should be regulated. Worth nothing, Christine Lagarde? Really? So let's get into this. She claims cryptocurrencies are based on nothing and should be controlled to keep individuals from betting their life savings on them. Another altruistic sounding reason why the banks, the big banks, whether it's the European Central Bank or the IMF or the Bank for International Settlements or whatever countries' governments or whatever countries' governments are in charge of cryptocurrency regulation, they now want to claim that it is in your best interest. Lagarde told Dutch television that she is concerned about people who have no understanding of the risks, who will lose it and be terribly disappointed, which is why she believes the industry should be regulated. The remarks come down at a time when the crypto markets are unstable, as they claim, with digital currencies like Bitcoin and Ether down 50% from their all-time highs. Oh my goodness, really? Are we going to blame it on a cryptocurrency correction? Yeah, they're down about 60% actually, 57.8% for Bitcoin specifically. But, this is par for the course. We see corrections like this regularly, and so that's not an excuse in my opinion. Regulators are scrutinizing the asset class more closely, concerned about the risks it poses to the broader financial system. So I think this is really where they're going here. This is really where they're moving. Lagarde expressed criticism about cryptocurrency's value, contrasting it with the European Central Bank's digital euro initiative. So they're saying CBDCs, no, those are the good ones. But the cryptocurrencies that you guys are invested in, no, those are the bad ones. A quote from Christine Lagarde: "My very humble assessment is that it is worth nothing. It is based on nothing. There is no underlying asset to act as an anchor of safety." So, she is ignoring a whole lot of stuff here. Of course, as we know, Christine Lagarde has been in the same room as Brad Garlinghouse at that Bank for International Settlements conference from way back in the spring of 2019. As JVXRP here mentions, this article means nothing in regards to XRP. And he also mentions the connection with Brad and Christine Lagarde. Tipsy Tiger also saying, yep, nothing to do with XRP, but buckle up. This industry is entering a new phase now where utility matters. A culling is coming. So that's an interesting statement. And also notice that she mentions cryptocurrencies in here, claimed that cryptocurrencies are based on nothing. Now, the reason I think that is significant is because if anybody were to turn around in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, however long it takes, and, certain cryptocurrencies like XRP or XLM or Algorand or whatever tend to rally, where prices go up, when we see that real world utility and we see demand being driven to these particular blockchains, someone could turn around to Christine Lagarde and say, yeah, but you said they were based on nothing. Why did you lie? You were wrong here. And Christine Lagarde already has an ace in her back pocket. She could always say, no, I was claiming that cryptocurrencies are based on nothing. These, my friend, are digital assets. They have utility, and they are very, very different from the Bitcoins of the world. I can already see the excuse coming out in that way. Nevertheless, we know what we're invested in, and again, as per JVXRP here, nothing to worry about, at least nothing I'm worried about. Wheezy here at Nerd Nation Box also pointed this out with regards to a 2015 article about how XRP was being talked about even back then. So this plan has been in the works for a very, very long time. This article, I have it linked here. Also, I'll link it in the description. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. And in this document, here's a screen grab here. Adrian Blundell-Wignall then discussed the Ripple protocol, which is a real-time gross settlement system. We know what it is. But over here, however, Ripple protocol transaction works very differently and in a way more amenable to node anonymity and clarity. So even then they were saying node anonymity, considering it a decentralized system. When a set of new transactions arrives on the ledger, that is a proposal. The nodes go through a voting process and start discarding invalid transactions. When they reach an 80% consensus, which would mean effectively 100% certainty, they consider the transaction as closed and correct. And this takes seconds. Ripple has a currency called XRP. XRP is not like Bitcoin, which has a value and can be exchanged for dollars and used for speculation. XRP is an internal currency used within the system to prevent abuse. So essentially calling XRP a utility coin, not something speculative traded on the open market, although we do know XRP is traded speculatively on the open market right now. This is where all of us are finding our big opportunities buying it for super, super cheap. They go on to say, underlined the fact that very big organizations are adopting the Ripple protocol and gave some examples. The world's largest open bank payment technology, Earthport, has joined Ripple. We know Earthport did join in 2016. Online banks are beginning to use the Ripple protocol as well. A German bank called Fidor is already using Ripple. Westpac and Northbank in Australia have also decided to join the Ripple network. And then down here, finally discussed cybercrime, which is considered to be the biggest risk facing the financial system. Private institutions and central bank payment institutions can all be subject to cyber attacks, and their backup sites would go down as well because they would use the same architecture as the main servers. In this regard, he argued that since Ripple is based in a completely different architecture, which is less vulnerable to this kind of cyber attack, it is useful to encourage the Ripple type systems. So a lot of reasons why, even back in 2015, 2016, why you would consider RippleNet for your banking systems. Of course, it's taken years to implement, but again, a very interesting perspective. These guys really did see why Ripple was going to be important. You know, many of us have been in this cryptocurrency community for a while and have been doing the research and realize why it's going to be central. You know, we've pointed, for example, to the membership with the World Economic Forum and how those elites at the top are influential in making these big decisions. They've got their hands in the pockets of the big banks, of course, connected to the Rothschild family as well. And so that considered, is it any surprise Ripple's Brad Garlinghouse will be speaking at the World Economic Forum annual meeting on Monday about remittances with the ED of partner Brack Bank and a Circle executive. So just from that document there, but they're going to be talking about remittances and recovery, a new era for digital money. Remittances have long been a critical source of income in developing countries. They have steadily increased over the years, a product of migration patterns and advances in cash transfer technologies. How can the public and private sectors collaborate to lower the costs of remittances and create policies for inclusive socioeconomic development? Brad Garlinghouse here, along with Jeremy Allaire, also the co-founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Circle Internet Financial. And then down here, Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple USA. So they're going to be on that chat for the World Economic Forum. Again, I'm not surprised about that. And here is here's a 90-page, very, very extensive schedule as to what is going on hour by hour. Day by day over the course of this conference. So interesting news there. Wrath of Kahneman also brought this up. So with regard to the video I did yesterday, the Capgemini news, guys, if you didn't catch that, I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. And I mean, it's not conclusive, but there is evidence to suggest that Swift will be running on Ripple in the near future. But to play devil's advocate, and I love this because, we should never take things for granted. We should always question. Wrath of Kahneman bringing this to our attention. Hate to be a Grinch, but there is not confirmation that Ripple is working with Swift. Capgemini implements lots of crypto in DLT. There's no mention of XRP in the document. And then down here he says, could Swift work with Ripple too? Sure. And to the degree ISO 20022 messages occurs, there likely will be in some aspect, but this article is not dispositive in any way. Much of the misunderstanding seems to have come from the finance feed's muddled prose. So Wrath of Kahneman just wanting to clear things up. The fact that we did not get confirmation of it in a specific statement from Swift directly, he's saying there's no conclusive evidence. However, when we look deeper, guys, and I'm going to bring this up first, but then I'm going to show you guys some older clips that suggests that we might actually be there, and we're not being told directly. So this from Bubba Cugs here. See, there's a thing called Riddlers. I love how he brings Riddlers into the mix. They've been around since 2018, and for years, everybody thought they were fake, except since 2020. Everything they said has come true so far. So, I don't know if you guys remember this. The diagram mentioning the 22nd of each month. February, March, April, and now we're in May. We're very, very close to May 22nd. It's actually tomorrow. And the key, what does that mean? Well, we did have this Capgemini news, and from Capgemini's Twitter, we are 340,000 people dedicated to unlocking the value of technology for an inclusive and sustainable future. And of course, a little key there, as Bubba Cugs denotes, unlocking the value of technology. Now, this on the heels of that Swift comment. We're collaborating with Capgemini to explore how Swift can interlink the multiple domestic-based CBDC networks emerging worldwide to make cross-border payments with digital currencies more seamless and frictionless. I don't know if you guys also remember unlocking value. The Mr. Poole tweet back from 2020, Ripple possibly having that ace up their sleeve. There was also this. It also reuses existing banking messaging standards and authentication models, including ISO 20022 and Swift's private key infrastructure, their private key infrastructure, but this was the best. Do you remember this Bearable Guy tweet? And it was speaking about R3 specifically, but I think that the sentiment can be expressed with regards to this as well. Work with Ripple and use XRP, or work with R3 and use XRP. Swift has got a very, very difficult choice to make. And so by no means is this proof, okay? By no means is this proof, but I do want to bring this up as well from Bubba Cugs. Swift announces they will use digital assets to help facilitate cross-border payments. All central banks are updating to ISO 20022. So just follow this logic for a sec. The court case is ending just in time for ISO 20022, which, as we know, is forecast for November of 2022. To send payments, you must use ISO 20022. Only 5 crypto networks are ISO 20022 compliant. Of those 5, only 2 are cross borders, XRP and XLM. Now here's where it gets interesting. Of those 2, only one has ever sat with the head of Swift in a conference. Of those 2, only one has massive banking partnerships, namely XRP. Of those 2, Riddlers told you Swift will use XRP, i.e. Bearable Guy, Mr. Poole, just to name a couple. Of those 2, only one has clarity soon. XRP community, there is evidence Swift will use XRP. I mean, breaking it down that way, the logic does make sense. Building on all the research we've done over the years, how could we not assume that XRP is going to be the chosen cryptocurrency? Also this, guys, courtesy of JVXRP here. How is there no FOMO into XRP right now? This guy worked for Swift for 20 years. This is Graham Bright, by the way. He is the CEO of EuroXM Bank now, but he did work for Swift, and said Swift is running through his veins. He literally said XRP will be moving on Swift's network as a currency. Am I missing something here? Oh, and Ripple is visible in the background of this clip. Watch this.
There's a discussion surrounding crypto replacing SWIFT. So we did speak earlier where you mentioned that it's not necessarily about replacing SWIFT, it's about complementing it. So let's get some more information on this.
Okay. I used to work for Swift. I was Swift for 20 years, so Swift is flowing through my veins. Swift is the preeminent messaging system for the financial industry, which covers, say, payments, FX, trade, in terms of securities, etc., NOSTA reconciliations, etc. What we're looking with the crypto, though, is where Swift would have a store and forward straightforward system for most of its payment transactions, where you need service level agreements that in a certain time I will do something, the payment turns up at a certain time during the day. Here we're looking at the new network styles which allow instant real-time movement of the funds and visibility of those funds as well. So we would not have a situation where banks need to come back to you and say, have my funds arrived? It's 3 days later, I need to find out or find query messages moving around the network. There's nothing like that. I don't believe Ripple is going to replace SWIFT. Ripple is one of the complementary networks which is going to allow those institutions who need real time to make use of that. And I think we're also seeing that SWIFT are changing their network capability so that real time will be a possibility as well. But we may also see Ripple XRP moving across the SWIFT network as a currency when we're perhaps using something like FX.
We are likely going to see XRP moving across the SWIFT network. And he states here that, Ripple is not going to replace SWIFT. It will complement it. But that essentially means RippleNet integration into SWIFT technology. Harkening back, not to that one, harkening back from this meme here posted by Bearable Guy in 2019. Either work with Ripple and use XRP or work with R3 and use XRP. So SWIFT, again, over a barrel over this discussion and over this change, this transformation of the financial industry. And yeah, Ripple in the background here, obviously partnered up with EuroXM Bank. And again, guys, this is Graham Bright, CEO of EuroXM Bank, and did work for SWIFT for 20 years before that. Wanted to thank JVXRP here for posting that. Also, let's not forget late 2017. I remember it like it was yesterday. This clip here, real quick, another one from Bubba Cugs.
I have a ton of respect for what SWIFT has built, just to be clear.
Gottfried, how do you feel about a partnership with Ripple?
Well, first, we can negotiate it here.
Let's do that.
Maybe a couple. One is.
Whoa, what did he say? Maybe in a couple of,
Maybe a couple.
Is he saying maybe not right this second, but maybe in a couple of years, perhaps? Again, this is from 2017. Fast forward to 2022. ISO 20022 compliance and all the other reasons why we could see XRP now running with SWIFT, just adding more legitimacy to the Cap Gemini announcement that we heard yesterday. And guys, just the icing on the cake, David Schwartz here in the song Bingo. Was Bingo the dog's name or the farmer's name? The poll here, I think, is secondary to what JK on Twitter has discovered here, looking up Bingo, the folk song. You guys probably know this song. Note this, though. It has a Roud folk song index number of 589. Guys, I'm not making this stuff up. I'm just reporting it. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.